sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, back again for another deep dive. And today we're going a little deeper into the story behind Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl victory. We've got this People.com article about that celebratory kiss with his fiancée, Bry Burrows. And I think you'll find their journey pretty fascinating. You might know about the game, but did you know this power couple's history goes all the way back to their college days at the University of Alabama?
Yeah, it's really interesting how we often see these stories, through a very specific lens, like the athlete's journey, the big win. But with this deep dive, we get to see how individual ambition can intertwine and create a really powerful partnership.
Exactly. So for anyone who maybe missed it, the Eagles took down the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. That must have been extra satisfying, after the Chiefs beat them in the 2023 Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely a big redemption moment. And of course, Jalen Hurts was named MVP. But beyond the stats, it was that kiss with Bry Burrows, caught on the Fox broadcast that really seemed to capture everyone's attention. Talk about a picture-perfect ending.
All right, so let's rewind back to their days at the University of Alabama. We know Jalen was leading the Crimson Tide to championships, but Bry wasn't just on the sidelines. She was making her own mark on campus as part of the school's NBA case team. She helped them snag the 2019 SEC championship. Talk about a power couple in the making.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting. You have two incredibly driven people, both excelling in their own fields right from the start, and it really challenges that traditional narrative of the athlete and their partner. It shows us two parallel paths of success.
Yeah, I love that. The article mentions they've been dating on and off since those college days, and at one point, Jalen described Bry as an irreplaceable feeling. You can definitely feel the depth of their connection.
That quote really does stand out, doesn't it? It points to a bond that goes beyond just the surface. It speaks to a shared history, a deep understanding of each other's journeys.
And then in September 2024, Jalen proposes. The article describes this incredibly romantic scene, candles and ocean sunset, both of them dressed in white. Sounds like something out of a movie.
It really does paint a pretty vivid picture. And it suggests a level of intentionality, a desire to create these special moments in the midst of their undoubtedly busy lives.
Speaking of busy lives, let's talk about Bry Burrows. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in 2017, got her MBA from Alabama, and now she's an AI partner at IBM in Dallas. She's got her own impressive career separate from Jalen's success in the NFL.
Yeah, this is something I really appreciate about their story. It would be easy to focus solely on Jalen's achievements, but the article makes it clear that Bry is a force to be reckoned with in her own right.
Absolutely. And her work in AI, that's a fascinating field. It makes you wonder, how does that tech-savvy perspective influence their dynamic? Do they geek out over algorithms together?
That's a great question, and it's something we can definitely delve into deeper. From the sources, we see that Bry's expertise lies in.
Okay, but before we go down that rabbit hole, I want to touch on the on-again, off-again aspect of their dating history. Relationships aren't always a straight line, and it seems like they've found their way back to each other after navigating some ups and downs.
Yeah, that's a really important point. It makes their journey even more relatable, wouldn't you say? That adds a layer of authenticity, reminding us that even the most successful couples face challenges and have to work to find their rhythm.
So we have this incredible Super Bowl victory, a love story that goes back years, and two high achievers supporting each other every step of the way. It's a pretty inspiring picture, right? But what does it all mean for our listener?
I think this deep dive reminds us that success isn't just about reaching a certain point. It's about the journey, and most importantly, the people we share that journey with. Jalen and Bry's story highlights the power of mutual support and how individual ambitions can actually fuel a shared success. They seem to have figured out a system that works for them.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, how do they maintain their individual identities while also nurturing this incredibly strong partnership? It's a question I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to, especially those juggling their own ambitions with the demands of a relationship.
That's a fantastic observation, and it's something we'll definitely explore further as we continue this deep dive. It's about finding that balance between me and we, and it seems like Jalen and Bry have managed to strike that chord quite beautifully.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about how their individual pursuits, might actually strengthen their bond as a couple. Like they each bring something unique to the table, enriching each other's perspectives.
Precisely. Yeah. And Bry's role as an AI partner at IBM offers a fantastic lens into this. We know AI is a rapidly evolving field full of complex challenges. So I'm curious, how does she navigate that demanding world while also maintaining this incredibly supportive relationship with Jalen? Do they share strategies, bounce ideas off each other? It's fascinating to consider.
You know, the article didn't really go too deep into the specifics of Bry's work, but it did mention that she focuses on something called ethical AI. Honestly, I don't know much about it, but it sounds pretty important.
It is. Ethical AI is all about ensuring that artificial intelligence is developed and used responsibly, addressing potential biases and societal impacts. It's a critical area of focus, especially as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives.
So she's not just working with cutting-edge technology, she's also shaping how that technology impacts the world. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, does Jalen ever tap into Bry's expertise? You know, maybe they have conversations about strategy, decision-making, even leadership, all areas where AI insights could potentially be applied.
That's a really interesting point. Thinking back to the Super Bowl, there were those crucial moments where Jalen had to make split-second decisions under immense pressure. I bet having someone like Bry in his corner, someone who thinks strategically and analyzes data for a living, could be a real asset.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Even beyond the football field, I imagine Bry's analytical mindset might influence their approach to everyday challenges.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a system for tackling problems, breaking things down, weighing options, a sort of shared problem-solving framework. It wouldn't be surprising given their backgrounds.
That's a pretty cool thought. And it circles back to what we were saying earlier about how their individual strengths might complement each other. It's like they each have a unique set of tools, and together they become even more effective.
Exactly. It's a dynamic we see often in successful partnerships, whether it's in business modis, creative endeavors, or even as in this case, a high-profile relationship. Two people bringing their best selves to the table, constantly learning and growing together.
Now, I want to go back to something we touched on earlier, the on-again, off-again nature of their relationship in college. I mean, they were both busy, ambitious people figuring things out. It makes their story even more relatable, right?
Absolutely. It reminds us that relationships, even those that seem picture perfect, have their complexities. Life throws curveballs, priorities shift, and sometimes couples need to take a step back to recalibrate, to figure out if they're truly on the same path.
And it seems like Jalen and Bry did just that. They took the time to understand themselves and what they wanted, and ultimately they found their way back to each other stronger than ever. It's a testament to their commitment and their belief in the relationship.
I agree. And it brings to mind an important point. Sometimes the most fulfilling relationships aren't about constant togetherness. They're about respecting each other's individual journeys, allowing space for growth, and knowing that at the end of the day, you have a solid foundation to return to.
So to bring it back to our listener, why should they care about this story? What makes it more than just a feel-good Super Bowl anecdote?
Well, this deep dive isn't just about a football victory or celebrity romance. It's about the power of partnership, the importance of supporting each other's ambitions, and the idea that individual success can actually fuel shared success.
It's like they're saying, you can chase your dreams and I'll chase mine, but we'll do it together stronger because of it. That's a powerful message, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it's a message that resonates far beyond the world of sports and celebrity. It speaks to the human need for connection, for support, and for finding that someone who celebrates your wins as if they were their own.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the kind of partnerships that, help us thrive, not just romantic relationships, but friendships, family, even work collaborations. Where do you see that kind of dynamic, playing out in your own life?
Well, that's a great question. It's definitely something I've been reflecting on, throughout this deep dive. I think for me, it's about surrounding myself with people who challenge me, inspire me, and genuinely want to see me succeed. And in turn, I try to do the same for them. It's a two-way street, the kind of supportive energy.
I totally agree. It's about, those people who push you to be your best self without tearing you down. And, it's interesting because we've focused a lot on the ways Jalen and Bry support each other, but I'm also curious about how they maintain their individual identities within this super strong partnership.
That's a brilliant observation. It's
Yeah.
like that classic saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But even when you're going together, it's crucial to maintain that sense of self, that individual drive that makes you, well, yeah.
Right. And it makes me wonder, how do they do that? Do they have separate hobbies, designated me time, or maybe even, a little healthy competition now and then?
Well, the article doesn't, give us all the intimate details of their daily lives.
Yeah.
But it does hint at a shared respect for each other's pursuits. Jalen has his football career. Bry has her work in AI, both incredibly demanding fields. So it's safe to assume they've found a way to carve out space for their individual passions while still being, fully present for each other when it matters most.
That makes sense. It's like they've mastered the art of being both a we and a me. which, let's be honest, is something many of us are still figuring out.
And it's not just about carving out time. It's also about celebrating each other's individual wins.
Yeah.
Remember that quote where Jalen describes Bry as an irreplaceable feeling? It suggests a deep appreciation for who she is, independent of his own achievements.
Yeah. They're not just partners, they're each other's biggest fans. And I think that's a key takeaway for our listeners today. Whether you're in a romantic relationship, a close friendship, or even a family dynamic, it's so important to find those people who cheer you on, who push you to be your best self, and who remind you of your worth even when you forget.
Beautifully said. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's worth remembering that this story is just one example of the many ways successful partnerships can unfold. There's no one-size-fits-all formula, but Jalen and Bry's journey offers some valuable insights into the power of mutual support, respect, and a shared commitment to growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as you go about your day, think about the people you surround yourself with. Are they lifting you up? Are they inspiring you to reach your full potential? And are you doing the same for them?
Because at the end of the day, that's what makes the journey truly worthwhile, sharing it with people who believe in you, challenge you, and help you become the best version of yourself.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those thoughts and perhaps reach out to those special people in your life. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep supporting each other.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I